Welcome to the Visual COBOL in a Nutshell series of presentations. This module covers some advanced source code editing features available in Visual Studio. For a look at basic features, including configuration, please see the presentation on Visual Studio Editor Basics. The Visual COBOL source code editor is an essential part of the overall integrated development environment of Visual Studio. There are some editing features that are available only when you are working with managed code projects. They are Intellisense, which provides you with a list of available parameters or methods while you type, allowing for automatic statement completion. Additional code snippets are available for use with managed code constructs. XML documentation provides a simple method of updating Intellisense descriptions for your methods. SmartTags can significantly aid you in the task of implementing an interface in your classes. Override class members allow you to select and insert members in an inherited class that will be overridden. Let's take a look at how these features work. Okay, so we have a managed.NET Windows Forms application. First thing we'll demonstrate is Intellisense. We'll go into our behind class, our code behind class, and the button one click method. Intellisense helps us complete statements by showing us what classes and methods and properties are available to us as we type. So for instance, if we wanted to add a data item which is of a type binary reader, which is in the system.io namespace, we can type in type, and after we enter type, it'll give us a list. This is Intellisense in action, a list of all available classes that we can use. Since the binary reader is in the system.io namespace, we can start typing that, and as we continue to type, it'll bring us down in the list to something that matches. Then we can press enter or dot to continue. Okay, system.io, here's our namespace. Now we do the dot again and we get a list of all available classes, and the binary reader is the one that we're interested in. Okay, we can also do a shortcut so that we don't have to do the entire namespace by adding the directive called ILUsing. It's like using the using directive in C#, and it's a way of importing namespaces into your application. Okay, so now the system.io namespace is in. So now if we want to add the binary reader, we should just be able to type the same way as before, only now the binary reader would be available to us directly without having to type the system.io because we brought that in. Okay, there's an alternate way of doing this. Okay, we get rid of the ILUsing. We can see now the binary reader is flagged as an error because it's not completely qualified. But if we go to the project properties on the namespaces tab, we can select items that will automatically be imported. So if we go down here and look for system.io, we can just check that, save it, we'll build our project. Now we can see that you can reference it as if the ILUsing were specified. Okay, Intellisense also works in the procedure division. It works on regular COBOL statements like move. We'll get a list of all items that we can move here. Even the pickaxe items, regular COBOL data items. And again, as you type, it will continue to go down the list until it finds one that matches, and then you can select. Okay, you can also use this with OO techniques. So we have a text box on our form, text box 1. As you do the double colons to bring up the method, it'll give us a list of all available methods or properties, and the text is the one that we're looking for. We want to set this to, if we say type, it'll again give us a list of available types. And we're looking in the string class. And here's our available methods. we want to do a concatenation. And notice it also shows you the overloaded methods and the parameters that are available for each, along with the description. So it makes it easy to fill these in. So here we can add two parameters. We're going to concatenate these two strings. So it makes it very easy. Okay, that's Intellisense. Next thing we'll show is snippets. Snippets are available for native code too, but there are some additional ones available here. I can use the Control-K, Control-X to bring the snippets up. And we see we have a number of items in here that don't show up for native. The one I'll use first is a method, so we can insert a new method in here, and I will just call it new method. Press enter, and then your method has automatically been inserted, and you can start going ahead and changing it. Okay. We'll add some parameters to our method. One as string, int one as binary long, and we'll also add a returning phrase. Okay, there's our method. Okay, one additional thing I'll show you on this is the XML documentation. If you go before the method that you just create and you add a asterisk followed by two greater thans, it'll automatically put in a documentation for XML where you can go in and add your own text for a new method, and this will show up in Intellisense for this method. It automatically plugs in the parameters that you're using. Okay. So now if we go up here to reference this, if we go up here and say invoke, and we can say self, which means this class, and we should see new method in the list, and here it is. And now if we look at this, we can see here's the description we just added. This is the description for new method along with the parameters. So Intellisense is very easy and powerful to use. Okay. The next thing I'll show is SmartTags, and we have a demo here that has an interface in it called iErrorHandler, and this just has two methods. Now if we wanted to create a class that implemented this interface, that's where SmartTags would come into play. So we'll do that right now. We'll add a new class, COBOL class. We'll call it myhandler.cbl. Okay. If we go in here and we add the tag implements type, now Intellisense is here again, and it'll show us all the available interfaces, and we should see our iError in the list as we type. There's iErrorHandler right there. Okay. So after typing that in, we get our smart tag right here. It shows up at the beginning, and if we click on that and then select implement this interface, it'll automatically bring the two methods into our class so that we can just go ahead and implement them. And it does a default implementation that just raises a exception that it's not currently implemented, so we can just go and start adding whatever text we wanted to. Okay, that's smart tags. The next thing will show we have a program here called bank account that has a couple of methods in it, withdraw and deposit. Now if we wanted to inherit from this, we can override our class members and bring them into our new class, and I'll do that right now. I'll just go back to add, and we'll add a new COBOL class, and we'll call it a check account. Okay, in check account we can say inherits type, and here's our list of types, and here's our bank account. Okay, so we're inheriting from that, and if you're inheriting, you can right click in your class, and there's an option here to override class members. If you select that, it will show you the classes that this inherits from. Everything inherits from system.object, so you get those methods, but you also get bank account, and it shows the properties in there as well as the methods. If we want to override the withdraw and deposit, we can bring that, and it'll automatically copy this code into our class. And again, there's some default implementation here to just call the withdraw and the deposit method in the parent class, which is bank account. There are a variety of methods that can be used to navigate through your COBOL source files within your projects and solutions. General positioning features include positioning directly to the first statement in the procedure division or to a specific line number. Navigate backwards and forward arrows allow you to move to previous and next locations within your sources, and bookmarks can be set on source lines, allowing you to freely move between them. Fine definition features allow you to position to the source line on which a data item, data file, or procedure name is defined. Fine references features allow you to list all source lines on which a particular data item, file, procedure name, or string is referenced, modified, or defined. Let's take a look at some of this functionality. Okay, some of our general navigation features. From anywhere within your source code, if you wanted to return to where the procedure division begins, you can click on this icon, go to procedure division, up on the COBOL toolbar. That will position you to the statement following the procedure division header of the program that you're currently in. Okay. You can also go directly to a line number using the go to option. You can type in a line number if you happen to know it, and it will position you in the source to that particular line. Okay. We also have navigation arrows, navigate backwards or forward. This will always return you to your previous location so that you can toggle between them. Okay, so if you want to get back to where you previously were, you can use these arrows. Also, if you click the down arrow here, it keeps a list of the most recently used locations so that you can also jump using that list. Okay, we also support bookmarks. Up here, toggle a bookmark. These can be set on any line, source line in your code, data division or procedure division. It just marks lines that you are interested in so that you can jump around easily between them. These can also be in multiple programs. And then you can use the arrows here to jump between the bookmarks. Okay, there's also a bookmark window under the View menu item. You can bring up and all your bookmarks appear here, so you can randomly jump between them, the ones that you're interested in. It allows you to enable or disable them all. Okay, you can also jump between them here, or you can selectively get rid of them. Okay, those are bookmarks. Finding definitions of items, such as data items, where they're defined in the working storage, or where procedure names are found in the procedure division. A couple of ways of doing this. The first one is on the navigation bar. That's at the top of the editor here. On the left hand side, it will allow you to select a module. Here it's the cust.io, and on the right hand side it will give you an alphabetized list of all procedure names and data items in the program, and you can jump between them by just selecting from that list. Okay, some of them appear to be grayed out. Those are ones that are in copybooks. If you click on those, it will expand the copybook and open it up so that you can look at it. Okay, you can hide the copybook when we're done. Okay, similar to the navigation bar, on the View menu you can open up the object browser. This will give you a list of the possible modules that you can select from, and then you get a similar list here that you can use to navigate your sources. So we can jump around to data items or procedures in various programs. Okay, if this were a managed code, we'd also get some additional information in the object browser, such as methods and properties within the class. But for standard native COBOL programs, you can also use the object browser for navigation. Okay, find a definition up here in the definition toolbar. Okay, you can enter in any item that you want to search for, such as, sorry, I'm in the, there we go. There it is, cuss file, and it'll take us to the definition of that file. It also keeps track of these or previous locations that you use, so you can jump around using the drop down. If you scroll out of focus and want to return, you can just click this icon next to the list, and it will take you right back to the one that's currently selected. Okay, another way of doing the same thing is by right-clicking in your source on the item that you're interested in and doing a go to definition, or pressing F12. That will also take you to the definition of either data item or a procedure. Okay. You can also bring up, if you're going to be doing this a lot and you want to see the various locations where things are defined, you can bring up the code definition window. Okay, now whenever you click on an item, it will bring up the portion of the source where that's defined, and it will move around as you select new items. Very handy. If you wanted to edit the item using this here, you could just say edit definition, and it will open up the editor to that position. So that's the code definition window. Okay, you can also find all references for an item. Say that you wanted to see everywhere that link record is referenced, you could right click and say find all references, and that will give you a list. And it actually tells you how this is being referenced. Here it says this is a definition of it, and you can click on it and go to the definition. Here link record is referenced, and here it's being modified. So it actually tells you how it's being used. So a move statement is modifying that. This is a very powerful feature. That's find all references. Okay. You can also do a quick find. You can position on an item and press Control F, and this will do a text search. You can actually search for things other than data items or procedure names. You can search for anything. And you can limit this to the scope of either the solution, the project, open documents, or the current document. And you can navigate between these. So it'll take you to each item. And it will go through multiple programs as well. Okay. You can also use the drop down to say find all, and you'll get a similar list here where you can then go through and click on the ones. Actually, it's down here. It shows you the source and allows you to click on it. Okay, we'll close our finds out. You can also use find in files, and this is similar to the quick find, but there's an additional limiter here that you can say COBOL project copybook paths. So if you had copybooks that were defined under dependencies and the project properties, it would also search in the files found in those paths for the string that you're looking for. Okay, here if you say find all, you'll get another list showing you the various places that this item is referenced, and you can jump around. Okay, these are also available over here on the edit menu. You can also use these for find and replace. So you can either do a find or a replace. If you want to replace all the data items, a data name with another data name in the entire solution, you can do that here. Okay, the last one is navigate to. This allows you to type in a string and it will do a search in the entire solution, showing you anywhere that string appears, and allows you to click and go directly to the item of interest. So a number of ways of navigating in your program and finding out information. And that brings us to the end of this presentation of Visual Studio Editor Advanced Features. Thank you for watching and happy programming.